Is it on? Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to another installment of my video series. The name is Mpokoka. Before I get into the news and start reporting the news to you of what has happened in the month of May and the beginning of June, just want to start off with something funny. Now, this weekend on the 28th of May at the South African Music Awards, hashtag the Summers, the Minister of Sports and Recreation, Minister Fikile Mbalula, took the platform, and what he did there was he was called upon along with two other celebrities to present the Best Contemporary Album Award. So before they did that, Minister Mbalula actually said something which I feel is related to the land issues. So this is what he said, and I'm actually quoting. Open quote. Grond. Wat is 'n grond? Grond is 'n mengsel van fyn roos deeltjies en 'n oorkat van lewendige organismes. Close quote. Now, now I find that very funny because right now in South Africa there have been two incidents in my view related to the land question, and those incidents actually involve the Hammanskraal incidents and the incident of that member of the Roads Must Fall movement who actually gave a tip or a piece of paper with a message on it to that white waitress saying, "I'll only give you a tip when you bring back the land." So what Fikile Mbalula said this weekend actually made me fun. Actually made me very, how can I put this? I was actually um like taken away by what he said. Like, it was actually fun and very entertaining, particularly at the time whereby South Africa is actually in the limelight because of all this land issue and stuff. That's Minister Mbalula for you, aka Mbawizi, Minister of Razzmatazz. Now, jokes aside, coming back to the real issues, particularly here at the Northwest University, Potchefstroom campus. Now, there are 5 issues I would like to talk with you today. Very important issues. Now, issue number one, there's a certain student initiative which was actually established by the SRC office, current affairs, a certain pilot pioneer project called Student Parliament. Now, in my view, this is a very great initiative because in this student parliament on campus, this is where we have places of discourse, of dialogue, where we get to agree to disagree, we share our opinions concerning our different political ideologies, religious ideologies, economic ideologies, and all that. I have nothing wrong with the initiative. Now, the only problem that arises is the way this initiative was actually marketed. Because we as students actually not told about the student parliament initiative. The only people who knew about this were certain presidents and chairpersons of the councils or societies on campus. Now, the student parliament on its own is not a problem. It's what we actually need, and it's actually what we are calling for. But the way in which it was advertised, the way in which it was promoted, the way in which it was marketed was a problem, because we as students on the ground knew nothing about this. There was no form of communication at all. So the only problem I have is the way this initiative was marketed, because some of us found out about this through other people who are ordinary students. Some of us had to do research on YouTube, on the whole Becker TV channel. That's where we had to actually find out information concerning the student parliament. Now, the only problem was it was not properly marketed. Otherwise, great initiative. Point number two is around the mass meeting that took place on campus on the 5th of May 2016, where in which our acting rector, Professor Fika Jansen took to the platform to address the students concerning the NW unitary model. Now, with this model, what happened basically, Professor Fika took the platform, gave his opinions concerning the model and the way forward for the Northwest University. Then there was a question and answer session between himself and the students. Now, before I get to the Q&A, there are some statements which he made, and I'm actually going to repeat them to you. So, firstly, our acting rector started saying we should not ban politics on campus. These are actually his words. I'm actually quoting right now. He said, one, we should not ban politics on campus. Number two, he said we should not have politically naive students leading our campus. Three, he said he believes our SRC should not be selected on a political party basis, rather on the current system is currently being used now of having prior experience before you qualify for certain leadership structures. 4, he said the duty of a university is not to protect a language. 5, he said the duty of a university is to enhance the teaching and learning process. And point number 6, he said demographics in a class can get to decide which language a lecturer should use, whether Afrikaans, English, or Setswana. Point number 7, he also mentioned that looking at the statistics for the Northwest University Potchefstroom campus in terms of bringing more non-white, in terms of bringing more black students, more color students, more Indian students on campus, is looking at percentage figures of 34% for 2016 and almost like 51% for 2020. Those were the statistics that he gave. He also went on to say English is a colonial language. Yeah, he said that. Point number 9, he also went on to say if you're a student and you do not actually understand Afrikaans, or you didn't understand Setswana, and you do not want translation services on campus, then unfortunately this is not the place for you. And lastly, he also mentioned that he saw a problem during the mass meeting that students were not given enough time to expand their questions or give background information of whatever they wanted to say. So he felt like another mass meeting needed to be scheduled so that students can be given enough time to express themselves. So those were all the comments that our acting lecturing was. Now coming on to the Q&A, students took their platform and asked questions like what is Profig actually doing to market this university, particularly this campus, to kids who are close by, especially to kids staying in Ikaren and in Promosa, unlike them actually advertising it further in places in like Stellenbosch and in Namibia. So basically what I'm saying right now, these are like questions which were raised to him by other students who were present at the mass meeting. Then so Profika's response was you'll actually get onto the marketing strategy and see how to enhance that to other nearby communities. Then certain points that were raised to him was firstly, Profika doesn't have the mandate to actually talk to the university community concerning the unitary model, because the unitary model was to do with all three campuses, Potchefstroom, Mafikeng and Vaal. So the only person who has a mandate to speak about this and who's in the right position to talk about the unitary model is the vice chancellor. That was actually a point that was raised by one of the students there at the mass meeting, and Profika agreed with the letter and agreed with the student that okay, you're right. I think we'll talk to Prof Wadi to get to come and address the students fully on this matter. Then other last points that were raised by students was how is the rector actually going to enhance and make sure that they fast pace the issue of implementing English classes on campus. So Profika's response at the end of the day was, we are trying their level best. We are trying to juggle around using translation services and actually giving English classes to certain modules. But at the end of the day, he feels like the option of having English as a medium of instruction in classes is not actually cannot actually be taken out. However, that can only be determined by the demographics in the class. So if the students in the class actually want English as a medium of instruction in their classes, then at the end of the day, English will be implemented. But as for now, he believes in the system whereby there's Afrikaans, which is being used as a medium of instruction in classes, students resorting to translation services, and fewer certain modules being given classes in English. So that's the current system that's being used. So all this was what the professor said, and this was the exchange between himself and the students. Now, point number 3 surrounding the whole thing about the new class timetable which has been introduced. As we all know, as from 2016 in the second semester, the new class timetable would have been changed and amended in order to enhance the parallel medium classes. Now, when I look at this, what we saw was there was a letter which was actually sent to all students on campus from the office of the SRC Academic Council via its Academic Council chairperson, Ms. Natalie Joubert. Now, what happened was she said the person who's responsible for amending the second semester timetable is the campus registrar, Mr. Franz Duplessis. So what happened is Mr. Franz Duplessis amended the timetable and actually sent it to all members of the SRC, members of academic student associations, and all prems or primary in all hostels to find out their view on how they feel about this timetable. Now, when you read the letter on the thing, which was written by SRC chairperson for Academic Council, Ms. Chubera. In that letter, she actually mentioned that when she received the news, when she received the timetable for the second semester timetable is actually going to change, she actually learned that firstly it's going to have a big impact on student life. Secondly, she also mentioned that it's going to have a negative influence on student life. And thirdly, they decided that they have to try by all means to fight for the students and communicate with the campus register on how they are going to provide a certain alternative solution to this problem, because they feel now with the new timetable in existence, what's going to happen is they're going to have shorter lunch periods, or they're not going to have lunch periods at all, and the classes are going to run until late, around maybe probably 6 o'clock. So they feel there's going to be a problem and a burden towards students. Now this was all the opinions that the SLC chairperson for Academic Council along with the team suggested and communicated to Mr. Francis, the campus register. Now, when I analyze this situation from my perspective, like I feel at the end of the day, the SRC Academic Council and their team, are actually putting student life first at the expense of language and access. Now, that's very problematic because I feel like language is more important than student life. The way you receive your information, the way you receive your academic information in class is more important than student life. Because student life is just an extramural activity just to do with social life and interacting with people. It's not important, not enhance you anywhere academically. Now, language is the one which is most important in this case. However, what I observed there is when they focus on lunch periods, when they focus on classes running until late, it goes to show that the SRC team of the Academic Council, along with their executive, actually see student life as being more important than language, as it will be more important than English classes and English being given as a meal instruction. Now that's very problematic. You cannot put student life over classes. You cannot put student life over language access. That's very problematic. Now we'll see what will happen next semester, whether this will actually fully implemented. Now coming to point number 4. Now this one is actually pertaining to the whole initiative about the situation whereby what happened was um, there was an online questionnaire or online survey uh, talking about educational translation service on campus. Now, this was an initiative actually championed by the university management. The university management established an online survey questionnaire, an online survey, yeah, an online educational interpreting service survey where they wanted the student community to know, to find out from them how they feel about translation services on campus. So basically, with this educational survey, what you have to do is follow a certain link on their university's Facebook page and fill in the survey and tell them how you feel about translation services. This was an online educational translation services questionnaire or survey. Now there were also prizes attached to the whole initiative. Prizes like point number 1, what happened was there is a first prize, second prize, and third prize. First prize you get 3,000 in a multilingual dictionary. Second prize is you get 2,000 in a multilingual dictionary. Third prize you get 1,000 in a multilingual dictionary. So these were all the prizes attached to the whole online initiative. Now, looking at the whole initiative, I only have two concerns concerning it. Now, number one, there was a video actually under the whole advertisement of the online survey. In that video was our rector and our vice rector. Now, for this campus, no, our rector, when the video started, he said words like this, and I'm actually quoting him now. So he said them in Afrikaans, so I'll actually quote them. Open quote. On stock dienste is die beste, maar ons wil dit nog beter maak. Close quote. Now, for those of you who are not Africans preferable, basically what he said is our translation services are the best and we want to improve them. Now, I find that statement very problematic because if you are going to circulate an online survey or an online questionnaire, that particularly means you want to find out something. You want to find out information. You want to launch an investigation on a certain issue. So you have no right by all means to influence the outcome of the questionnaire by saying anything. You have no right to actually impose your opinion on other particular people who be taking that questionnaire. So when the vice rector took the platform on that video and started saying our translation services are the best and we want to improve them. Basically, this is already and subconsciously influencing the mental thinking and the minds of people who have not yet taken the questionnaire, because now it's influencing their minds, it's influencing their opinions. So now what's going to happen is they are going to fill in that questionnaire already influenced because we actually said that. So what you could have done there was just to say there is here, hello, there's a questionnaire, fill it in, want to hear what you guys want. That's all. There's nothing wrong with the questionnaire. Actually, we need such questionnaires to find out what the student community thinks, but we don't want it to actually influence the process of the questionnaire. It should be neutral. People actually distributing the questionnaire should be neutral and not pick sides. So when the vice rector, sorry, when the professor, our acting rector actually said our translation services are the best, basically he's actually imposing his beliefs there. He's actually imposing his opinion when he's not supposed to do that. He was supposed to be neutral and not actually pick sides. So now he's influencing people are taking the questionnaire. Now, second problem that I have with the whole questionnaire initiative is it was open to everyone. All students on campus were given the opportunity to fill it in. Now that's very problematic because I feel the only people who are in the right position to give a view or an opinion on how they feel about translation services is the people who are using them. Not everyone uses them. So people who are using them, they are not in a position to talk about them because they're not using them. So why say it's open to all students when not everyone is using them? So that's actually a problem. Now, last issue, they say save the best for last. This issue is actually pertaining to the religious intolerance issue that happened on campus. If I look at the News 24 articles and the Daily Fox articles, it's revealed that during the first week of exams, 30th, 31st of May, somewhere around there, 2016, on the northwestern of Potchefstroom campus, two black students were actually religiously discriminated from what I heard from those two articles. So basically, what actually happened was a black Muslim student and a black ZCC student were actually told to take off their religious head garments because they were not allowed to do so since it was exams. Now let's analyze these two issues separately. Now, if we look at the first issue of the girl ZCC who belongs to the ZCC community. So based on the article on Daily Fox, it actually says the girl actually went to exam center. When she got there, she was told that she should take off her religious head garment because you're not allowed to wear caps, hats, or beanies during exam. So she said she cannot take it off, unfortunately, because it's part of her religion, it's part of her culture. They said okay, then she has to produce a written form to show that she's allowed to wear that. She said no, I don't have a form. I don't believe I should be carrying a form because this is my practice, this is my religion. Then at the end of the day, she was told repeatedly to take it off because firstly she has no form and for secondly she's not allowed to wear it in exams. So at the end of the day, the towards her cried and took it off and actually followed the rules. So what we see there, so this is actually an account or a narrative that was actually transmitted or promoted by the Daily Box News article. So what we see from this situation is there was no religious tolerance in this case. She was actually religiously discriminated on the basis of her culture. She was told to take off her head garment, which is situated or related to her culture, and actually there was no sensitivity towards that. Now, looking at the second situation, looking at the black Islam student, what happened was she went to the exam center. She was also told the same thing. You have to take it off because it's not part of the exam rules. You're not allowed to wear any hats, caps, or beanies. And she told them, no, it's part of my religion as well, wearing this garment. And they said to her, okay, one of the invigilators said to her, okay, it's fine, so you can continue writing the exams. All I'm just going to do now is check the rules and see if you're allowed to do this one. But in the meantime, you can go on with your exam. So the student went in, she went on with the exam. When she was finished writing the exam, they approached her and made her sign a refusal form and she refused to take it off. Now, I find that funny because they gave her permission to write first. Yeah, of course, at the beginning they told her she's not allowed to wear that, but she said, no, it's part of my religion to put on this head garment, so you have no right to tell me whether I should take it off or not. They said, okay, you can go in and write your exam, then we'll inquire about this while you're still writing, whether you're allowed to wait or not. So it means they gave her permission to continue writing. Now, all of a sudden, at the end of the exam, they tell the crew as well that, no, you're not allowed to wait, and you refuse to take it off, so we want you to sign this refusal form. She actually she actually at the end of the day didn't refuse because they said to her she can continue writing exam. So I don't see why they made a sign a refusal for, because they are the ones who gave the education at the beginning. Nevertheless, it also goes to show that actually the initial incident when it started, they actually had disrespect towards their religion, and they told the girls to take off her head garment. So these two incidents shows that there's actually religious intolerance in this campus, particularly which was promoted by these part-time invigilators. Now the response from all this from the university management was in this fashion. There was a letter released by the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Ben Fadi. He said the Northwest University upholds freedom of religion. He said we are prepared to uphold constitutional principles on religion, and we practice religious tolerance, and we try by all means to accommodate everyone's culture, religion, beliefs, regardless of race, gender, or sex, or nationality. So it was a statement from the Vice Chancellor's office. Just a statement. So when I analyze that statement, it's a good thing that the university actually reminded us of where they stand in terms of religion. That from that statement, he did not mention anything saying whether the university is going to take action or not, whether they're going to launch an investigation or not. So it was just a message. So I wonder how that message is actually going to help the victims in this case, who actually felt hurt and wanted to cry. So I don't know how a statement saying promote freedom of religion going to help them, because at the end of the day, he did not mention anything about the investigation going to be launched. However, looking at the university's spokesperson, Mr. Veli Duplessis, the spokesperson of the Northwest University, said that the examination division of the Potchefstroom campus is going to launch an investigation into this matter and see what's going to happen. And at the end of the day, they are going to sensitize and try and familiarize the part-time invigilators about freedom of religion and all those things. So that's actually some form of action that the university is going to take under the university spokesperson. Now, if you look at the SRC at Northwest University Val campus, they actually released a statement saying they fully support what those students did, the Muslim student, the university student. They fully support them for refusing to take off their headscarves or head garments because it's part of their religious beliefs. And the Val SRC has actually requested all students at all three campuses at Val, Triangle, at Mafeking, and at Potchefstroom that during this time of exams, when everyone goes to the exam center, they must put on a head garment or a do to show that they are in solidarity and support those students and stand behind them, and they do not agree with what happened to them. It's now being called hashtag respect do. Now, that's all actually happened during this last month of May and the month of June. Now, when we look at the way forward, basically now what we're gonna have to wait for is we have heard via grapevine that the Northwest University's unitary transformation model is almost in place, it's almost going to be established. So all that's needed now is for our professor, our vice chancellor, Professor Ben Fadi, to address all three campuses and tell us now where from here, what's going to happen now if the unitary model is in place and it's going to be established, what are the new changes that are going to come. So I'm sure we are all eagerly waiting to hear from the vice chancellor for him to tell us, since there are rumors flying around that this transformation model that we actually implemented in the year 2015 has actually been finalized. So we just want to know from him what's going to happen now, what's going to happen to all three campuses, what's going to happen here, we're going to have one SRC, we're going to have one dean, all that stuff. So I guess he's the right person to tell us. I'm sure next semester there'll be a time when he can address us. That's all from me in terms of the news that's happened on Potchefstroom campus and the rest of the Northwest University community. And on a sad note, I'd like to take this opportunity to pass on my sincere condolences to the families of Nyembesi Kunene and Muhammad Ali. Nyembesi Kunene, for all those who know him, was an actor on the South African local sitcom Emzini Wezinziswa. Those of you can relate. So we're gonna miss his fun, his entertainment, and his antics on that sitcom, and we're gonna miss him from the South African entertainment industry as a whole. Muhammad Ali as well. The whole global community is gonna miss him. My hero, my role model, the people's champ, the greatest. We all know Muhammad Ali was not just a boxer, he was a debater, he was a poet, he was a prophet, he was an athlete. was the People's Chamber, human rights activist, political activist, social activist. I hope now the Western media stops reporting lies about Muslims, because the Western media has been reporting that all Muslims are terrorists. I find that very strange. Muhammad Ali was a pro-black Muslim and he was not a terrorist. This goes to show that not all Muslims are terrorists. Not all Muslims are like ISIS. Muhammad Ali represents the best. He was the greatest. So to Nyembezi Kunene and Muhammad Ali, may your souls rest in peace. You'll be sorely missed. That's all from me, and I hope your exams are going well so far. Good luck with those of you who are still writing. All the best, and remember, if you don't study, you will fail. There will not be any miracle or supernatural intervention that's gonna come from somewhere, or any manna from heaven. If you don't study, you fail. Simple as that. That's all from me. Salute!